Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
When was the last time someone asked you for something? Your time, your energy, your presence. And you felt that familiar tightening in your chest. Not because you wanted to say yes, but because you couldn't find the words to say no. You searched for a reason, a good enough excuse. Something that would make sense to them. Something that would protect you from that look. The disappointment, the guilt, the quiet withdrawal of their warmth. And when you couldn't find the right words, you said yes. Again. And then you drove home, or sat in your chair, or lay in your bed, and felt something quietly break inside you. That feeling has a name. It's not selfishness. It's not rudeness. It's the slow, invisible erosion of your own soul. Today, we are going to talk about the most quietly powerful thing a woman can do in the second half of her life. We are going to talk about the magic of saying no without an explanation, without an apology, without a reason. And I need you to stay with me, because by the end of this, I think something in you is going to feel permission it hasn't felt in a very long time. If you are watching this, I want you to know something. You are not a young woman just beginning to learn who she is. You have already done that work. You have lived through things that would break most people. You have raised families, survived losses, rebuilt yourself after storms that had no names. You have given and given and given. And somewhere in all of that giving, something happened. Somewhere between loving people deeply and taking care of everyone around you, you forgot to leave room for one person, yourself. And now, maybe in your 50s, 60s or 70s, you are starting to feel it more clearly than ever before. A tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. A quiet resentment that surprises you. A longing, not for more things, but for more peace. You are not broken. You are not ungrateful. You are not difficult. You are simply a woman who has spent decades saying yes to everyone. And now your own spirit is gently, urgently asking you to finally say no. This video is for you. Most of us were not raised to say no. We were raised to be good girls, to be helpful, to be agreeable, to make things run smoothly so that others were comfortable. And the women who got praised, the ones who were called sweet and kind and so giving, were the ones who never rocked the boat. So our nervous systems learned something. They learned that being needed equals being loved, that being useful equals being safe. That disapproval is dangerous. This is not a character flaw. This is conditioning. Deep, early, powerful conditioning. There is a psychological term called fawn response. Most people know about fight and flight, but fawn is what many women learned instead. When something feels threatening, a conflict, a disappointed look, someone's anger, we fawn. We smooth it over. We say yes. We shrink. It kept us safe when we were children. It kept the peace. But you are no longer a child who needs to manage the emotions of the adults around you. You are a grown woman, and grown women are allowed to say no. Here is something I want you to really sit with. No is not a rejection of a person. No is a redirection of your energy. When you say no to one thing, you are always saying yes to something else. You are saying yes to your rest, yes to your peace, yes to the time that belongs to you. Imagine a woman named Margaret. She is 63. Her church group, her sister, her adult son, her neighbor. They all seem to know that if they call Margaret, she will come. She will bake the dish. She will watch the grandchildren last minute. She will listen to the problem. She will always find a way. One day, Margaret's doctor tells her that her blood pressure is dangerously high. And as she sits in that office, something shifts. She realizes that she has spent 40 years managing everyone else's world, and no one has been managing hers, not even herself. Margaret starts saying no, not dramatically, not angrily, just quietly. I can't make it tonight. I won't be able to help this time. No reason given, no explanation. And the world did not end. The people who truly loved her adjusted, and Margaret got her peace back. Have you noticed that when you say no, You feel an almost physical need to justify it. I can't come because I have a doctor's appointment. I'm sorry. I would, but I'm not feeling well. I wish I could help, but things are just really busy right now. We over-explain. We hedge. We apologize before we've even said anything wrong. Why do we do this? Because somewhere deep inside, we believe that a plain no is not enough. That we are not enough without a reason. That our feelings and limits are only valid if we can prove them to someone else. But here is the truth that changes everything. Explaining yourself doesn't protect the relationship. It trains people to expect a reason before they will respect your boundary. When you always give a reason, people start evaluating your reasons. They decide if your reason is good enough. If they think it isn't, they push back. And then you have to defend yourself. And then you feel guilty. And then you cave. The explanation is not protecting you. It is opening a door. There is a concept in psychology called JD. Justify, argue, defend, explain. Therapists who work with people healing from difficult relationships teach people to stop JDing, because JDing signals to the other person that your no is negotiable. That if they can find a hole in your reason, the no becomes a yes. You are not on trial. You do not owe anyone a defense of your own choices. Think about it this way. When someone you respect says, "I'm not available," do you cross-examine them? Do you say, "But why? Is that a good enough reason? Can you just rearrange things?" No. You respect the answer because the answer came from a place of quiet confidence. Confidence does not explain itself. It simply is. Let's talk about the guilt. Because it comes, I know it does. You say no, and within minutes, sometimes within seconds, that voice starts. Are you sure? Maybe you could have done it. They needed you. What kind of person says no to that? I want to offer you something that might feel strange at first. The guilt is not evidence that you did something wrong. The guilt is evidence that you did something new. Your nervous system has spent decades being trained. Say yes, keep the peace, don't disappoint. And when you break a deeply ingrained pattern, even a harmful one, your nervous system sounds an alarm. It says, warning, this feels unfamiliar. This feels dangerous. But unfamiliar is not the same as wrong. Brené Brown writes about the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt says, I did something that goes against my values. Shame says, I am bad. When we feel guilt for saying no, we are usually feeling shame in disguise. We have been taught, by culture, by family, by religion sometimes, that a woman who refuses is somehow less loving, less good, less worthy. But that is a story someone else wrote for you. And you do not have to keep reading it. Here is something I want you to try. The next time the guilt comes after you've said no, I want you to place one hand on your chest and say quietly to yourself, I am allowed to choose myself. My peace matters. My limits are valid. Not because it will make the guilt disappear immediately, but because every time you speak kindly to yourself in that moment, you are rewriting the old story. Slowly, gently, word by word. Some of you right now are saying, okay, I understand the idea. But what do I actually say? Because it is one thing to talk about boundaries in theory. It is another to stand in your kitchen while your sister is on the phone asking why you can't just come to one more family thing this weekend. So let's be practical. Here are real words you can use. And notice none of them include an apology and none of them include an explanation. That doesn't work for me. I won't be able to make it. I'm going to sit this one out. Not this time. I've decided to keep that time for myself. That's it. That is the whole sentence. Now, people will push. They might say, but why? And here is what you say to that. I just need to decline this time. If they push again, I understand you're disappointed. My answer is still no. You are not being cold. You are not being unkind. You are being clear. And clarity, even when it is hard, is one of the most loving things you can offer another person. Because it is honest. And honest relationships are the only kind worth having. The women who have the most peaceful lives are not the ones who never had conflict. They are the ones who stopped being afraid of it. There is a woman I'll call Dorothy. She is 68. For most of her adult life, Dorothy was the person everyone called. She was warm, capable, and available. But after her husband passed, she began to look at her life differently. She realized she had no idea what she actually enjoyed doing because she'd spent so long doing what everyone else needed. Dorothy started saying no, quietly, without drama. Her daughter called one Sunday afternoon and Dorothy said, "I'm not available today." Her daughter said, "Why? What are you doing?" And Dorothy simply said, "Something for myself." That day, Dorothy sat in her garden for 3 hours. She read a novel. She had tea. She felt, for the first time in years, that her life belonged to her. That is not selfishness. That is sovereignty. I want to speak gently about something that might feel painful. When you begin to say no, some relationships will shift. Some people in your life have loved you, at least in part, because of what you do for them, because you are reliably available, because you never say no. And when you change, they may not understand. They may pull back. They may even express hurt or anger. This is hard, but it is also information, because the people who truly love you, not for your usefulness but for your humanity, will stay. They will adjust. They might even be relieved. They might say, "I didn't know you felt so stretched. I had no idea." A real love has room for your limits. Real love does not require your self-abandonment as the price of admission. There is something beautiful that happens when you start honoring your own boundaries. You stop attracting people who need you to be limitless. And you start deepening the relationships where you can be real, where you can be tired, where you can say, "I love you and I can't do that right now." The word no does not end connection. It purifies it. Think of your energy as water in a well. When you say yes to everything, you are pulling from that well constantly for everyone without stopping to let it refill. Eventually, the well goes dry, and then you have nothing to offer anyone, including yourself. But when you protect your well, when you allow yourself rest, solitude, refusal, the water returns. And when you do choose to give from it, you give from fullness, not from fear, not from obligation, from genuine love. That is the kind of giving that feels good. For you and for the people you love. You have spent so many years being someone people could count on. Now I want to ask you something. Can you be someone that you count on? Can you look at your own needs with the same patience and care you have always given to others? Can you give yourself permission, just once today, to choose your peace over someone's comfort? Because here is what I know about women who have lived long, full, complicated lives. You are not afraid of hard things. You have survived hard things. What you are afraid of is being seen as less generous, less loving, less worthy, if you stop giving everything. But I want to tell you something. The women who are most deeply loved are not the ones who gave the most. They are the ones who were most fully themselves. The ones who showed up as whole people, with preferences and limits and opinions and needs, not as hollow vessels poured out for everyone else's use. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to say no, without a reason, without an apology, without a guilt spiral. This is not the beginning of becoming selfish. This is the beginning of becoming free. You have spent decades pouring light into the world. Now it is time, quietly, gently, powerfully, to turn some of that light toward yourself. No is not a wall. No is a door. And when you close the door on what drains you, you open the window to everything that restores you. You deserve a life that feels like yours. You deserve relationships that don't cost you your soul. You deserve the quiet dignity of a woman who knows her own worth. And that begins one no at a time. Before you go, I want to ask you to do one thing. In the comments below, I want you to write 3 words. I am reclaiming my peace. That's it. Those 3 words. Not because it changes anything about your life instantly, but because something shifts when we say things out loud. Even in a comment, even in a small digital space, we are declaring something to ourselves. And I read every single comment. I will see yours. If this video spoke to something in you, please share it with another woman in your life who might need to hear these words today. Because the truth is, she is probably out there right now, sitting in her own quiet exhaustion, wondering if it is selfish to want something different. Tell her it isn't. Tell her she's allowed. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that button. Because we have so much more to talk about healing, about becoming, about what it means to finally, fully belong to yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself. You are worth that.